Musician's Friend is calling April Mic Month. I love microphones, so I'll buy into that, but it does not mean I have to buy my mics from Musician's Friend. I am looking for a budget XLR large diaphragm condenser microphone. Google Shopping put a dynamic here when I clearly said minus dynamic. There are some choices here from a bunch of brands that I'm not really that familiar with. Zingu is showing up a lot, but Neewer is a brand that I have heard of. Here is a Neewer NW-800. It didn't show up on Google Shopping, but on Amazon I found a Neewer NW-700. It says $18.89, but underneath it there's a place to click and save 10%, so I went ahead and ordered this microphone. I'll check out the Neewer NW-700 that's coming up on ThriftyAV. My favorite way to record instruments or the human voice is with a large diaphragm condenser microphone like this Oktava MK-219 here, or its big brother, the Oktava MK-319. These are really basically the same mic with different housings here. Now these run about $150 used. New, they're more expensive and really hard to find because they're Russian. Here we have an MXL 550, 551 set. The 550 is large diaphragm, the 551 is small diaphragm. This pair is going to be less expensive than the Oktavas, but we're still talking probably $100 for the pair unless you find a really good deal. These are Chinese. My point is that large diaphragm condenser microphones, even ones that are considered mid-tier, are pretty expensive. You can buy large diaphragm condensers that cost thousands of dollars. Well, I'm too thrifty for that, so I'm not going to buy something like that. I was curious how cheap I could go and still get a large diaphragm XLR condenser microphone. Here is the Neewer NW-700. I want to see how good this is. Let's take a look. Not much on the outside of the box other than the model number NW-700. And this was also the shipping box. Little customer service thing here. Here's the little stats. There's the frequency response curve. Frequency response 20 hertz to 20,000 hertz. Negative 45 decibel sensitivity. Okay. It does come with a cable that's XLR on one side and mini plug on the other. That's concerning because the mini plug should not be able to provide phantom power. If this is really a large diaphragm condenser mic, it requires phantom power. There's the microphone itself. It's metal, but this is a rather lightweight housing. It does have this foam windscreen here and a shock mount. So it's nice that it came with a shock mount. I've switched microphones so that I can have more of an apples to apples comparison. Right now I'm using my Oktava MK-219 microphone. There are two switches in the back. I have it set to flat frequency response with no decibel pad, no reduction in the decibels on this microphone. I'm now going to unhook this microphone and hook up the Neewer NW-700 for comparison. I've now switched over to the Neewer NW-700. I have not adjusted the gain at all on the camera, so that way I can compare maybe the background hiss and the gain of this microphone compared to the Oktava. Also, there are no switches on this. I can't switch from a flat frequency response to a low cut, and there is no 10 decibel or 20 decibel pad on this. What you get out of this capsule is what you get. Of course, you can do adjustments after the signal leaves the microphone on a mixer or something like that, but right now I'm just feeding this directly into my camera. This is what the Neewer NW-700 sounds like with just a voice through a pop filter. Now I am doing direct recording into the front of this capsule, but I want to demonstrate that this is a unidirectional microphone. I am now addressing the rear of the capsule, and I can tell just from the levels on my indicator that this isn't as loud, so this thing does have a cardioid pickup pattern. I'm now addressing the top of the capsule, and I'll hear what that sounds like. I am now side addressing the capsule, and again I am front addressing the Neewer NW-700, this time without the pop filter, and we'll see how good the built-in windscreen does on this microphone. In order to test out the XLR-to-mini-plug cable that came with the Neewer microphone, I have it plugged into my Lumix FZ300, which I have handheld right now, and I'm speaking into the microphone, which is plugged into the Lumix, and this is what it sounds like when I'm using just the 3.5 millimeter mini plug cable plugged into a camera that does provide, I think, 5 volts of phantom power for microphones, which is a far cry from the 48 volts that my other camera was pushing into this microphone. We'll see if it works with that other voltage that a camera or a phone might provide. I just listened to those comparisons in the other room, and I decided to just stay on the Neewer for the conclusion part of this video, as it sounded plenty good enough. First thing that really impressed me with this microphone is the gain. This thing has lots of gain. In fact, to level match my Oktava, I had to boost the Oktava about 7 decibels to match the gain of the Neewer. That being said, there is definitely bass roll-off on the Neewer. I'm guessing there's like 2 graphs on the frequency response graph on this piece of paper here, and I'm thinking that it's the one that dips in the bass frequencies that's more accurate. I would not use this microphone for a bass drum or for a bass guitar cabinet. This thing has definite strong roll-off in the bass frequencies. That being said, if you want a bass cutoff, if you want roll-off of the bass frequencies, this thing has it naturally. You don't have to artificially roll off the bass with a knob on an EQ. So if you're looking for a brighter sound that emphasizes high frequencies through mid-range and de-emphasizes bass, the Neewer NW-700 is going to do that for you. I think it sounds great for the price I paid for it. This thing is going to be packed in my bag of stuff that if I damage it, I don't care so much, you know. I don't want to ruin the things I paid a lot of money for. So this thing, if it gets damaged in transit or whatever, I don't care so much. I will be using this for certain applications. I am pretty happy with the less than $20 microphone that I picked up here. So if you enjoyed this video, smash that like button. Thank you to my supporters and my patrons for supporting ThriftyAV, and remember, stay thrifty, everyone.